and I want somebody else to see if they can do the lipid row. Okay, box 5. What's the monomer for a lipid?
Fatty acids.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Gabby. Got it for you. There are really two parts to it, though. And if we remember, we want to think about it as like a capital letter E. So if we look at the E in elements, we've got glycerol, which is the backbone, and then we've got 3 fatty acid tails. So both parts are important.
Do you just want us to go off mute and like say them?
Yeah. That's fine. You can take yourself off mute. It's hard for me to switch back and forth and see who's, trying to come off of mute. But box 6, what are the elements for lipids?
Carbon,
hydrogen, oxygen.
Yes, thank you. What is the function of lipids? What do they do?
providing
long-term energy in cell membrane.
Thank you. Multiple people. Long-term energy. So that's a key difference between carbs and lipids. Carbs are quick energy. Lipids are long-term energy. And then lipids also provide, they make up the cell membrane, which we'll talk about in our second unit. And then what are the examples of lipids?
waxes, fat,
Steroids.
Well, I heard waxes, fats, steroids. We can also say phospholipids.
Lipids, I don't know how you say it.
Yeah, that's a big word. Phospholipids. Okay, so good. Now, obviously on these assessments, you all are able to use your notes. So if you have this chart, if you have a picture of it, if you've written it down, which would be my preference, if you've made, if you've recreated it in your own Google slide or in your own Google Doc, or if you've taken a screenshot, however you're saving this information, this is going to be key to your success. And the more you just glance at it, if you glance at it a few times a day, you'll just start to internalize this information and it'll become second nature to you. Okay, now the last 2 rows we talked about, we introduced yesterday. So we'll take these a little bit slower. Can someone tell me what the monomer of a nucleic acid is? Okay.
Is it
Nucleotides.
Yeah, nucleotide, like the detergent Tide, nucleotide. So really, and this is you guys will start to pick up on these patterns too. And I was having this conversation with a student yesterday who was expressing, like I said, a little bit of concern. But as you just spend more time with the material, you'll just start to notice you'll notice similarities and you'll see patterns, and it'll just become much more easy for you all to be able to process the information and also to reference that information during an assessment. But what I'm getting at is that you'll notice nucleic acids are made of the monomer nucleotides, and there's a specific part of the cell. Does anybody know what kind of like the brain of the cell is called, or the center of the cell?
nucleus?
The nucleus. So the nucleus is where we find nucleic acids, and nucleic acids are made of nucleotides. So they all start with that same NUCLE beginning. And you'll just start to see a lot of those patterns come up in our class this year. It just takes time, so don't rush it all right now. Just like the OSE ending, I forgot to point that out today, but the OSE ending, that indicates sugar. All right. Oops, I didn't mean to show the elements for nucleic acids, but there they are. So we've got 2 additional elements, nitrogen and phosphorus. Keep in mind that all 4 elements have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Okay. Can someone tell me what the function of nucleic acids is? What do they do?
Doesn't it contain genetic information which controls the production of proteins?
Beautiful. Couldn't have said it better myself. And I didn't include the beginning of what you said here, but that is an excellent thing to include. They contain genetic information. And that genetic information is used to produce proteins and also to do everything else that the cell needs to do. So nucleic acids are they are the instruction manual. They're the playbook. And then this came up in our warm up, but what are the two examples?
DNA, RNA.
DNA and RNA. Excellent. Okay, and then our last row, I'm going to actually pause here just to give everybody an opportunity to copy down all of this information.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Not about the work, but are we supposed to type here in the chat? Because I know we do that in other classes, but do we do it here?
You can. What do you mean? Like when you have an answer?
No, I'm talking about for attendance.
Oh, no, I'm just taking my attendance based on who I see in the chat. I mean, based on who I see on the call. Okay, that should be enough time. So our last row, proteins. What's the monomer of a protein?
Amino acid.
Yes, thank you. An amino acid, we have 20 amino acids, which gives us a huge variety of proteins that we can make. What elements make up proteins?
Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen.
Excellent. So just like nucleic acids, proteins have nitrogen, but unlike nucleic acids, they do not have phosphorus. So that's a big hint too. This will probably come up on most of your assessments. If you see phosphorus as a part of a biological compound, that should automatically tell you that it's a nucleic acid. If you see a P, the element P, then you know it's a nucleic acid. Okay, and the function of proteins, this one is a little bit, it's almost like a trick question because
Your tissues.
Has a lot of them.
correct. I think I heard Castro say tissues, and someone said it has a lot of function. The proteins essentially do everything for the cell. If they're not carbs, lipids, or nucleic acids, then it's a protein and it's doing something else. So they're what I like to call the do-it-all compounds. And lastly, what would be an example of a protein?
Hormones.
Hormones,
Antibodies.
antibodies,
Hemoglobin.
hemoglobin, enzymes. Yeah, I didn't have hemoglobin there, but hemoglobin is a good example too. Excellent. So if you can really internalize this table and recognize some of the similarities and differences, then you are good to go. If you don't want to take your notes in the form of a table, if you'd rather do an outline or Cornell notes or a mind map, however you can represent this information, you will be golden if you can just get this, if you can just remember this. All right, this is at least half of our first unit.
Half? I thought we just started.
Exactly, yeah. And we're almost done. Tomorrow we will talk about enzymes, and that will essentially be it.
And then we're going to have to take an assessment.
Yes, but it will not be. We won't be taking any long assessments this year. We're just going to do a series of shorter quizzes. So the quiz that we do have a quiz today, and it's just going to be on this. So and you all can use your notes. But it's 20 questions, and then the quiz on Monday, I believe, is also 20 questions.
I have a question. Sorry, I have a lot of questions, but
Go
are
ahead.
we taking a final, or we still taking EOC this year?
I'd say it's like 75% likely at this point. I'm not exactly sure what it will look like if we are not able to be in school to do that, but I'm sure that the district and the state are thinking through ways to allow us to take that EOC, because the EOC is, well, there are only 3 EOC exams in high school, and that data is extremely important. That data are extremely important. Okay. All right, so let's just play this Kahoot before we take the quiz. There's just one more review opportunity.
Ayana, when you have a break,
Yeah.
you got to get out of here and here to suppose. There's rice all over the sofa.
Okay. All right, that should be everybody. The diagram below shows a single amino acid. What do amino acids make? Cool. So amino acid, this is an image of an amino acid that's really beyond the level of this course. Excuse me. But we know that amino acids are the monomers for proteins. Excellent. This did come up on a slide yesterday. Good. So peptide bonds are what connect the amino acids. And that's why sometimes you'll hear proteins referred to as polypeptides, because we've got many peptide bonds. You might want to take some time to write that down if you didn't catch it yesterday. So I'll leave this up for 5 more seconds. Okay. Which of these terms is used to describe amino acid and chains in proteins? I guess I just gave you that one. Good. Yep. Again, might want to take some time to write that down. The chains of amino acids are called polypeptide chains. So that's where we get that name for proteins, polypeptides. What is a function of a carbohydrate? Which of the following are 3 examples of carbohydrates? What? Okay. Yeah, so I'm not a big fan of this question. Nope. That was a bad question. I'm sorry, people.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I think this code was made by another teacher. So don't worry about that. What are the large molecules that form when monosaccharides bond together? Several monosaccharides creates a polysaccharide. Good. What elements do nucleic acids have in addition to the standard organic elements? Good. Phosphorus. They also have nitrogen, but that was not one of the options. Good. So we've got that 5-carbon sugar. We've got the phosphate group. Now we've got the nitrogen bases, 3 parts. Which of the following is not a nitrogen base? Good. D is not a nitrogen base. What is the main function of nucleic acids? Good. I see people did answer, I think, sitting in the nucleus is, oh no, energy transfer. Nope, nucleic acid is not responsible for energy transfer. Good. I'm glad to see most of you did not choose releasing energy. They provide energy, but they themselves are not releasing any energy. Okay, don't think too hard about this one. It says triglycerides, like a tricycle or a tripod. What does that prefix tri mean? Good. Okay, this is again one of those questions that we didn't discuss in class, but lipids, I'll give you a hint, are hydrophobic. For those of you who have not yet answered, they're hydrophobic. So no, they are not soluble in water. Good job. Just like oil and water don't mix. Good. Last question. Which of the following is not an example of a protein? This is weird to like have Kahoot playing, but there's no music. Okay. Excellent. Congratulations to the winners. Alicia had all but one question. Very impressive. Somehow Ayana had got more of the questions right, but still.
I'm confused.
I think it's because you get more points for answering quickly. But
All right. But you guys did great, all of you.
I love that positivity. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to talk about one thing before we get to the quiz. So specifically for my honors class and for all the other honors bio classes, we have designed this brief performance task. You might want to save it for weekend homework, or you can do it after you take the quiz. But it's really just you create a Google Slides presentation. And if you don't know how to do that, I can show you right now really quickly. But you create a Google Slides presentation and you basically make posters or brochures for each of the 4 macromolecules. These instructions are also on Canvas, so it's in our module. But in order to turn it in after you've finished your slides, all you'll have to do is place it into your biology folder, and I will automatically have access to it. So you don't need to send it directly to me. Just save it into your folder. All right, and actually, I'll just go ahead and show you how to. Most of you probably already know how to do this, but up here, when you open Drive, you obviously have the option to make something new, click new, and then there's Google Slides right there. So in order to save your Google Slides presentation directly into your biology folder, you are going to want to make sure that you have your folder open. And then if you create the Google Slides while you are already in the folder, it will automatically be saved to that folder. Okay. So with that, oh, I didn't realize I wasn't sharing my screen when I did that. So you'll just open up whatever folder you're trying to save the slides in. You'll click New, and then you'll click Google Slides. So it's pretty simple. Okay. So let me show you. In Canvas, this is my first time trying to link a SchoolNet quiz to the Canvas page. So I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that it works. It worked for an earlier class, and it worked for me earlier as well. But you'll go in and it says 4.1.1 Mastery Quiz under day 4. And that's what you need to click on to access the quiz. Hopefully it should, once you access it, it should take you directly to the, all you should have to do is just load the mastery quiz in a new window, and it should take you directly to the quiz.
Yeah, it didn't work.
It did not?
No, I clicked on that little load for 1.1, the new window thing. I clicked on it, and it sent me to just a random page. Well, I don't know how to. You want me to show you or?
I can see, I think I know what you're talking about because it just did the same thing to me. Okay, so we'll just, you guys will just have to go into SchoolNet and do it the old-fashioned way. Let's see.
Have you tried like refreshing the page?
Did it work for you, Castro?
Yeah, because in the first time it didn't send me, but then I exited out and refresh. It worked. It did work.
Okay. Let me know if that works for you, Adrian.
Yeah, it works.
Okay, great.
Wait, where are you guys at?
So, Ayana, I'll show you. So we always just start in modules, right? We should be in our Unit 1 module, not Unit 0. Today is day 4, and it says 4.1.1 Mastery Quiz. I'll click on that, and the option to load the quiz in a new window should come up. Apparently, if it doesn't work, all you'll have to do is exit it out and refresh the page.
It's working.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mr.
Yes.
When I pressed the thing, it took me to this screen with like a whole bunch of like words and stuff on it.
Okay, exit that window out, that tab, and then refresh the page and try it again.
All right.
Did it work, Omari?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Don't forget to use your notes, people. Make sure you're using your notes. Okay, people, it's 11:35. I know that some of you are still, from what I can see, working on the exam or on the quiz. So take your time with it. I will remain here for those of you who might still have some questions if you need it. But for the rest of you who are good to go, I will see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
See you, Adrian.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, Mr.
All right, have a good day.
Oh, wait, before you leave, I need to ask you something, if that's okay.
Yes, and I know you said you wanted to talk after class.
So, I wanted to know, what were all the grades so far? Because ever since my counselor started changing my schedule, then changed it back, I got kind of behind, and I don't, I'm missing.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So,
for all of my classes as well, but yeah.
okay, let me share my screen with you.
Okay.
Can you see this, Ayana?
Yikes.
Now, keep in mind that you see that some of these assignments are due on the 1st, on September 1st. Okay, so and some of them are not for points. They're just, I just want to make sure that you've done them. So some of these assignments are just really quick. You know, it won't take you too long at all. So yeah, it looks like a lot, and I'm sure you've done some of them already. So don't get too discouraged. Just use this as a checklist. That's all it is, really.
I have a question. I just
Yes.
finished the test and I didn't make a really good score. Is that going
Mhm.
in the grade book?
Yes, it will, but it's just the first. It's just the first of many, and we'll kind of break it down and see what we did well on and didn't do well on.
I feel very discouraged right now.
Did you use your notes while you were taking the quiz?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and were they weren't helpful to you?
They were helpful to 11 of the problems, and then the others.
Okay, well, we'll break it down and we'll try to see. More likely than not, the questions that you were getting wrong were also questions that other people were getting wrong. So we'll take a look at it.
Okay. Sorry about all the noise in the background.
That's okay.
I think that's pretty much it. Oh,
Okay.
wait. You said they're all due on the 1st, right?
Everything for Unit 1 is due on the 1st, yes.
Okay, I have a lot of work from each class, so it's kind of getting like really overload. But,
Yeah. Well, when we talk tomorrow, I will have updated the grade book so you'll know exactly what you've done and have not yet done. Some of these assignments are very, very quick, 10 minutes. Actually, most of them are. So, if you put in between now and Tuesday 2 hours of work for biology, you should be able to get everything done. But it's just a matter of trying to be as organized as possible. Use it, like I said, use this as a checklist. And don't be discouraged. I know you're not, like I said, I had a conversation yesterday with another one of my students who also was expressing some feelings of discouragement. But the nature of our virtual learning just means that we have to find new ways to excel. And the things that we did last year may not work this year. So, and that goes for me too. I'm still thinking about strategies that I can employ to help you all learn and master these concepts. And some of the things that I'm currently doing, I might not do next unit if I find out that they're just not working. So it's a learning process for us all, and we just have to be understanding and flexible.
I know, but it's just my parents. They expect me to like ace everything, and well, I'm not really an all A student. Some things take me longer to understand than others.
And I'm glad that your parents have high expectations of you, and I'm sure you have high expectations of yourself as well. But like I said, I have to give myself grace every day too, and realize I'm not perfect. As a teacher, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I stumble through my lessons. Sometimes, like we had experience today, the Kahoot is not perfect. Um, and so you just have to say, I'll do better next time. This is all an opportunity to try to get better over time. It's not going to happen right away, like you said. So we're just going to continue to make strides every day. But you're doing well so far, and I really want to appreciate and state how much I am grateful for your participation. And I think you're really being a leader in that field, in that department, in our class. And I think a lot of people are listening to you answer, and they feel a little bit more empowered to answer questions as well because of that. So thank you for doing that, and please continue it.
Thank you. Never thought of it like that.
Yeah, you are certainly being a leader in that category. So I'm grateful for it. I think as a teacher, you always have, every year you have, or every class you have one or two of those students who just compel other people to open up and answer questions. And this year you definitely have started off the year being one of those students for me. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I really wanted to change from what I did last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of set more goals because last year I wasn't really focused and my grades, they were all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And, they from multiple stories, from what I heard from adults, elders, people that just graduated, they say you should take school seriously, especially when you're a freshman.
Yeah.
And a sophomore.
Yeah.
And, other stuff like that. So I was setting goals so I can do better this year and not, be like last year.
Yeah. It's a process of gradual improvement. And your freshman year, I think everybody recognized.
Were you saying something? Oh, well. Well, see you tomorrow. I'm going to go eat lunch.